everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt. On today's episode, we are talking Westworld. Yes, I'm uploading on a Monday. What is this? We are currently on Season 2, Episode 4 of Westworld, and let me tell you this. I get so angry when I don't figure out the plot twists or any kind of twist in the show before the show tells me what it is. Like, I get so mad because I'm working so hard in every episode to figure out what the hell timeline this is, what's going on, who's connected to who, and this episode just fucked with me. So at the end of this episode, I got really angry at myself mainly, but also because Westworld tricked me again, and how did I not see it coming? How did I not see it coming? I don't know. I have no clue, but let's just get into it and start talking about what just happened at the end of that, which, by the way, this is my favorite episode of the season so far. I loved this episode. I thought it was great, which is crazy because it didn't have Maeve or Dolores in this, which I thought was a nice break from Dolores, mainly because she's been so heavy in those, and this just kind of makes me, like, yearn to see Maeve's storyline more, which I know we're getting in the next episode because of the sort of preview of the picture that I saw with Maeve wearing a kimono, so she's in the Shogun world, which I'm very happy about. And so I liked the break from Dolores, I'm not going to lie, and it let us really focus on William, the man in black, and then also Bernard. And so I'm going to start with William, because that was my favorite part of this episode. So basically, we start the episode off with William's father-in-law, who's dying of a disease that, ironically, he defunded research for 20 years back or whatever, which I think is definitely karma at its best. But he is in this sort of apartment thing that we are believing it is. We kind of don't know what's going on at first. And then William comes in and they have a conversation about what's going on, kind of. At the very end, he slips him a note. And right then I knew that they had put him into a host body, and, you know, his genetic DNA and his memories and stuff like that, they were all there in a host body, because I knew that he was going to be slipping him a note that was basically the script for what they just said. I knew it, like, right away. I think that was pretty obvious. And then we go back to that, and we see sort of a shortened version of it, where we see him actually look at the note and read what it is, and he realizes that he is a host, and he has been uploaded into this body, and he's really excited. He gets to go out into the world finally, and William is just like, not yet, we still need to do some testing and all this kind of stuff. And then at the very end of the episode, we go back to that, but this time it's Ed Harris's William, not Jimmy Simpson's William, so it's the old one, the Man in Black version that we know. Comes in, has a different type of conversation because he looks so much different that the father-in-law, I don't know his name, sorry, he does not know who this guy is, obviously, because he's never met him in his memories that he has. And basically, it's kind of explained that they always hit a plateau with these DNA-injected hosts. To where, you know, at first it was 7 or a couple days, and it was 7 days, and now you can get up to like 35 days, but he still just like absolutely just stops working. And you see William as the Man in Black. I want to say that this must have happened right before he entered the park for the last time. That's kind of my theory on that, is because he's still very dark and like he, you know, kind of how we met him in a way. And whereas now he's kind of changing a little bit, and we'll get into that. So he leaves, and he tells them, you know what, don't terminate him, because they've already killed him 149 times. Don't terminate him. Let's, you know, study him while he's doing his breakdown. Maybe we'll learn something from it, which is like completely inhumane and like so sad. I mean, imagine finding out you are a host in the body that you think that you've been living your entire life with, and you find out that you're a host and you're stuck in this room that you can't break out of, and you're starting to short circuit. Like, that's terrifying. And then towards the end of the episode, we actually see the effects of it and how he's gone completely mad, and he's still kind of in that loop to where he does his morning routine in like a very odd way. And now he's like carving lines into his face, and he's killed people, and he's just absolutely nutso. And finally, he's put out of his misery in a humane way, kind of. I mean, he's set on fire, so I don't know how humane that is. But we're going to get to more of that a little bit later, but I want to talk more about Ed Harris's William in this, to where he's traveling with Lawrence. They decide to go to the town that Lawrence's family is in, and they find the Confederado soldiers that Dolores meant to kill, but Teddy let them go. They take it over the town, and they were, doing a whole bunch of bad stuff, because that's what they are. They're terrible people, well, hosts. And the Man in Black, being the Man in Black, decides to totally give out Lawrence and be like, hey, I know where the stash of guns and all that kind of stuff that you're looking for is. Got to make a deal. I'll show you to where you're going, type of thing. And throughout the episode, you kind of see William start to realize, like, there's little moments, like when Lawrence remembers something he told him a long time ago. You see William start to realize that they're starting to get more conscious, and it's making them more real to him, like how it was when he first met them. They were still real. They were still having these feelings. And he only didn't realize how unreal it was when Dolores had gone back on her loop and didn't know who he was and anything that had happened. Also with this episode, we learn a little bit more about William's family outside of it. His wife commits suicide. You learn that Logan, his brother-in-law, who he basically screwed up his life, but he OD'd a long time ago. He still has a daughter, but they're not exactly close, I don't think. And all of this is kind of going in his head while this Confederado soldier leader, who I don't know the name of, I'm sorry, I know. He is it Hector? No, that's the guy with Maeve, I think. Anyway, he's basically like torturing Lawrence. He's beating him up and then also like kind of shoving his wife in his face in a way. And there's like this explosive stuff that he demands her to bring to him because he's going to blow him up or something like that. And while all this is happening, you see William, and you see his face, and he starts to kind of think about, his wife's suicide and all that kind of stuff. And he starts to get maybe his humanity back in this world. We don't know how he is outside the world. He could be completely nice. Obviously, there's the whole philanthropist thing from the first season that we learned. He's a great guy outside of this. But inside, he's brutal, he's cruel. And now you kind of see a little bit of that humanity coming back. And this is the first time I've ever said it, but I'm rooting for the Man in Black. Like, I'm legitimately rooting for old William, and I'm here for it, and I love it because he saves Lawrence, he saves the town in such a great way. He's, like, so good at this. And then Lawrence, some of his cousins, ride off into the sunset to go off on this journey to wherever he's going, but not before William has a conversation with Lawrence's daughter, who has, of course, the sort of mind right now of... oh my God, Arnold, right? Anthony Hopkins' character, who I just keep forgetting the name of all the time. I'll remember it one moment and then I'll forget it the next, whatever. He's still kind of like uploaded his self-conscious into all of the hosts so they can kind of pass along these clues to this new maze that he's giving the Man in Black. And then as they're riding off into the sunset, somebody's riding off towards them, and it's a female, and we're like, oh, is this Dolores? Who is this? No, it's that lady from the safari park that got taken by the Native American tribe, and then she's with Ashley Stubbs for a while, the other Hemsworth brother. She escapes because she's awesome and a badass, and she just giddies on up over to the Man in Black William, and like literally a half a second before she says what she says, I go, Jesus fucking Christ, how did I not see this coming? And then she goes, I say that as she's saying, hi, Dad. And how did I not see that coming? I mean, obviously, they kind of lead up to it to where Ashley Stubbs, the other Hemsworth brother, kind of knows exactly who she is, how powerful she is. She even says she doesn't want to escape the park, which is very much like William. And then also, you have all of these hints of talking about his daughter over and over in the episode. So it's classic storytelling. How did I not get it? But it was a great reveal at the very end of the episode. I really liked it. Now I kind of can't wait to see them interact together and see how maybe he is outside of the park. And then the other main event that we get is Bernard being dragged into this sort of area to where he finds Elsie, Shannon Woodward's character, who you think is dead from the first season. You know, he like choked her out and you thought she was strangled to death. But no, she's still alive. She's been in this cave like shackled with a whole bunch of protein bars. She's pissed. And then she, you know, finally realized that he's a host, and, you know, they kind of form some sort of bond over again, but very untrustworthy. And then he has these like weird memories going around to where he can like, basically he is suddenly remembering things, but he doesn't know the order in which they come from. And so he sees that he once has been to this cave and that there's a like hidden like elevator to get to like this hidden area. And so they go down there, and then it's just a massacre down there. There's dead people, and then Elsie sees one of those big, like, white, muscly host things that aren't, like, actual, like, face hosts, kills them, because, I mean, they're terrifying. They are terrifying. Elsie starts to help out Bernard, puts more of that sort of, like, liquid brain stuff that he needs, cleans up his coat a little bit to, you know, keep him stable for a while. And she, you know, she's still questioning quite a bit about what's going on. She doesn't know Arnold's dead, all that kind of stuff. She learns it, and then they see this door, and she's trying to break into it. And then they do this weird thing where Bernard's telling her not to do that, and he goes, oh, this is not happening. I'm not here with you right now. So I'm like, is this all in the past, or is like this another like weird? I'm so confused, because I'm assuming this is taking place after the sort of battle at that armory place with Dolores, you know, basically sacrificing all of the Confederados to the Delos people, I'm assuming. But anyway, she shoots the door out, she goes inside, and we see that sort of apartment loft area, basically a cage for the Williams father-in-law, and he has gone completely mad, like I said at the beginning of this. This is kind of where he goes just absolutely, it's so creepy. It's very unnerving. They're like, oh, someone's in there. And then they go in, you know, fight him a little bit, and then they put him out of his misery. But there was also this great dialogue all throughout the episode, really talking about, you know, heaven and hell and death in general. You know, William says he's death to the Confederado. You have William's father-in-law, who is just like, you know, they tell us that there's two higher beings, one in heaven and one in hell, and he's like, but there's only the devil or whatever, and then you see him going up with all of the fire and the flames, and it's just like crazy imagery. It's fantastic. And then you end the episode with the reveal that Bernard starts to remember that he is responsible for all of the murdered people in this lab. He went in there, he took something, which we don't know what it is, and he kind of thinks that they're trying to upload another person into a host, because he does reveal that he knows exactly who that person was, and that was basically a hybrid between him and a host. And then Elsie's just like, she's like pissed, because she's like, I'm not dying because this fucker wants to live forever. Like, I love Elsie. I'm so glad she's alive in this. I hope she stays alive, but probably not. Let's be real. Anyway, I absolutely love this episode. I love the dialogue. The dialogue was so good in this episode. It was twisty-turny. It was kind of confusing, but also a little bit easier to figure out because it seemed like it was all taking place at around the same time, besides the stuff you see with William's daughter and what's his name? The Hemsworth brother. That was, of course, you know, before or like right after all of this stuff was happening or during it, whatever. And I'm really excited for the next episode to see Maeve in the Shogun world. I can't wait to see the Shogun world. Very excited. I kind of hope that we don't see Dolores again. I want like a 2-episode break of her, just because I feel like that would be like coming back and seeing some like stuff has happened in between and we have to figure out what happened. I want that. I want to be confused. I want to figure out these twists. I want to be angry. I want it all. And I hope you guys liked this episode. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. What do you think about episode 4 or Westworld just in general for season 2 so far? Also, don't forget to subscribe. I make videos Monday through Friday for the most part. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.